But with Valentine's Day right around the corner, Dunkin is offering more than coffee and donuts this year. Love is also on the menu at this Dunkin in the town of Wallkill. The company is doing drive-through weddings and vow renewals for the first time for 3 couples chosen from entries across New York State in this year's Valentine's Day contest. Dunkin says it's their way of helping couples during this pandemic.
Knowing it's been a really difficult year for folks, especially for brides who've had to push their wedding given this pandemic, we really wanted to make getting married as easy and convenient as going through a Dunkin' drive-through. And what better way than actually making that happen?
Yeah, the free ceremonies will be held Friday from 3 to 4 p.m. Company representatives say couples will receive a special Dunkin' gift basket and a $500 gift card. Plus donuts and coffee on your wedding day. That sounds pretty perfect, right?
Culture.
Hi, News 12. I just won The Voice.
Community.
The first shot went into the arm of Port Washington nurse Sandra Lindsay.
Connections.
Seems like so much fun.
It was pretty hectic.
Discover News 12 New York.
Hey, look, we're happy, right?
A new way to see the best of News 12's local channels from across the tri-state area, all in one place. Now streaming 24/7 on your favorite devices. Discover News 12 New York today.
Homebound veteran from Bridgeport who served in World War II finally getting vaccinated today. Her family saying that it would not have happened had News 12 not told their story. Here's Frank Recchia with the update.
Bridgeport health officials arriving on Windsor Street with a very special delivery, a refrigerated container holding the COVID-19 vaccine. The team carefully transporting the container inside a home here so the shot could be given to a Bridgeport resident whose family had been trying unsuccessfully for weeks to get their loved one vaccinated, 97-year-old Dorothy Loper, who served in the Navy during World War II.
Was in communications and deciphering codes. She was actually in Pearl Harbor, Hawaii after the bombing there.
This is the consent form that you're going to sign. Turn it over.
After the vaccine was prepared, with Loper herself signing the consent form, Lieutenant Tom Veronelli of the Bridgeport Fire Department did the honors.
And everybody was just so kind and wonderful and concerned.
State and local leaders learning about the case when we told Loper's story over the weekend. Her family saying in spite of an exhaustive effort, they couldn't get anyone to come out and vaccinate a homebound senior.
Originally, we got no place until News 12 came here and broadcasted and told our story, and then things started to happen.
To make us aware that this is what's happening.
These are the officials who came together to address the issue, saying the city will offer the same service to any homebound resident who qualifies for the vaccine.
Because of this tremendous reporting, we're able to develop a process to vaccinate people out of the comfort of their own homes.
When the last health official walked out the door, Loper herself, who doesn't do a lot of talking these days, said it all with a smile.
It was just wonderful.
In Bridgeport, Frank Recchia, News 12, Connecticut.
Oh, what a beautiful smile and a good thing done there. For more information about vaccinating homebound seniors, you're asked to call 203-576-7993.
In time for Valentine's Day this Sunday. Learn how to make a melting hot chocolate bomb. That's in today's Chef's Quick Tip.
I'm Tina Redwine with today's Quick Tip. Joining us is pastry chef
Suzanne Burns, Sweet Brioche Artisan Pastries in Trumbull, Connecticut.
These chocolate bombs are so popular, it took me weeks to finally get the molds for them. So let's go.
We're taking some tempered chocolate and we're brushing the inside of our mold. So we want to make sure that this isn't too thin. And you can go ahead and give them 2 or even 3 coats of chocolate. And then you want to let them sit, and this takes a couple minutes, and harden all the way. I pop them in the freezer for a couple minutes, and you just want to go gently around the edges, and you want to push from the bottom right here so that these guys come out of the molds.
Oops. What did I do wrong? Mine broke.
That just means you need it to be a little thicker. So we're going to take the ones that you have ready, and you're going to take a little spoon or just pour a little bit of the hot cocoa mix into the middle. I use a cupcake grinder because it helps them not to roll around. So, and then the other piece of it, right, we're gonna take and we're gonna put some marshmallows in there. You can put peppermints in there. You can put different types of candies in there. People put peanut butter cups. You can put instant coffee in there. So then we're going to take our other little shell and you're going to dip it in your chocolate. And you want a nice layer there. Think of this guy as glue and stick it right on top of that other half. Let that guy sit and the chocolate's going to harden and set up. And then you can feel free to decorate it.
And this tip is online. Just search for News 12 Connecticut Quick Tip Hot Chocolate Bombs with pastry chef Suzanne. Tina Redwine, News 12 Connecticut.
Getting a look at a one-of-a-kind home in Suffolk County. It's the first 3D printed home to hit the market anywhere in the country. News 12 Long Island's Andrew Enger takes us inside.
From the outside, it looks like a typical home. But look closely here. This is no ordinary concrete. That's because it was extruded by a gigantic robot 3D printer.
We're trying to disrupt the construction industry just a little bit.
Kirk Anderson from SQ4D Inc. printed the exterior and interior walls of this test home in less than 48 hours of print time. That's lightning fast compared to regular construction. Now, most people know 3D printers for making plastic parts and toys, but a house? This is a first. And now the town of Riverhead has given its okay for the first 3D printed home in the nation to be built and sold on this plot of land. The cost for the new 1,400 square foot 3-bedroom home? An eye-poppingly low $300,000.
It definitely whets our appetite.
Marty and Maria Arominski from Huntington were just one of a group of curious buyers who took a tour of the demo home in Calverton today. SQ4D says their robot builds 41% of the structure, then general tradesmen do the rest. That means the home can have whatever options or wall finishes the customer wants.
As far as the interior exterior walls, we can do whatever shape the machine allows.
Now, what really has people excited about this kind of construction is that with its lower costs, it could truly be a game changer when it comes to affordable housing.
You get a quicker build, stronger build for less than 50% of traditional building costs.
SQ4D says their goal is to build a home cost effectively and efficiently at speeds never seen before.
We're hoping to build houses turnkey in under 100 days.
In Calverton, Andrew Enger, News 12 Long Island.
And the home builders say they've had discussions with affordable housing groups like Long Island's Housing Partnership.
Wow. Celebrate Valentine's Day virtually with these interactive ideas.
For foodies, it's a virtual dining experience delivered to your home. Multi-course, founded by Food Network star Kathleen O'Brien Price, delivers a gourmet dinner to anywhere in the tri-state. Have a dinner with your date or friends eating virtually together from different locations while interacting with the Michelin-starred chef to hear the inspiration behind the menu, and it's complete with wine pairings. Have a virtual game night. Watson Adventures hosts virtual scavenger hunts and trivia games for you, your love, and your friends. Virtually visit locations around the world. They're hosting special events with Valentine's themes too. Or get your body moving with a virtual Valentine's Day salsa class. You could sign up solo or with a partner, whether you're together or not. Learn from a pro at Alley Extension, no experience needed to dance your way through Valentine's Day. So even if you're apart this Valentine's Day, you can still share an experience together.
We have more ideas and all the links you need on our website, news12.com.
Kurt, you're going to meet Pam O'Donnell, a tough-as-nails Jersey girl who suffered a horrific tragedy, losing her husband and one of her daughters because some guy got high and plowed into them.
I have no other way to grieve but do what I do.
That's why you'll see the billboard, keeping alive Tim and Bridget's memory. One, a beloved high school teacher. The other, just 5 years old. This month marks 5 years since they died.
And on February 22nd of next week, at 3:20 p.m., she will be 1 minute dead longer than she was alive. So this is a big anniversary.
One dedicated to Bridget and her big personality. She loved rainbows and unicorns, but also the football giants. She wanted to be a cancer-curing doctor like the one who saved her mom.
I was given my last rites 4 times. And I miraculously survived, only for a year later for half my family to be killed.
But a guy sent to prison for nearly 40 years, high on drugs, on no sleep, rear-ended them doing 50 in a 5-mile-an-hour zone right before a toll.
The person that killed half of my family went out on a Friday night, made the choice to get high all weekend, and then he chose to drive home.
She's hoping others will make better choices, sending these signs across the country, starting a nonprofit, the Catch You Later Foundation, speaking to schools up and down the state. It comes as driving under the influence and while distracted continue to be major problems in New Jersey. Despite fewer cars on the road during the pandemic, numbers show deadly crashes last year in the state up more than 5%. Pam gets by today thanks to support from all over Bayonne. There are memorials set up. The crash resonates around the city.
You know, it's easy to sit there and say how strong she is, but we all know what she's going through.
Going through life now with her 11-year-old Allie, continuing to make memories while always thinking of Tim and Bridget.
Kurt, Mom says Allie has a knack for science and math, just like Dad, who taught science and math. Kurt.
It's important stories like this are publicized to raise awareness. Nick, thank you tonight.
For months, medical experts have been saying when it comes to COVID-19, masks save lives. But new aggressive strains of the virus have the CDC urging a new strategy. The agency now says 2 masks are better than 1.
In the breathing experiment, having both the source and the receiver wear masks modified to fit better reduce the receiver's exposure by more than 95% compared to no mask at all.
To understand why some doctors are urging people to double mask, it helps to remember how the coronavirus spreads through droplets in the air. We expel these droplets each time we exhale. It's easy to visualize on a cold day like today. The best way to stop the droplets is by wearing the gold standard of masks, the N or KN95. Each block more than 95% of microscopic particles. The FDA says they typically have 5 layers. 2 layers of polypropylene filter out the large particles. 2 layers of fabric remove the medium ones. And a filter gets the fine particles. Surgical masks only have 3 of those 5 layers, the 2 polypropylene layers and the filter. There are no fabric layers, but the theory is by wearing a cloth mask over the top, you can basically add them. The other issue with a surgical mask is it's not as snug against your face. There are little gaps where air can get in and out with each breath. The theory is that by adding a cloth mask over the top, not only are you adding extra layers, you're also sealing off those gaps, offering much better protection. So medical experts say double masking is worth the inconvenience, but they admit getting people to do it may be a tough sell.
Folks have some trouble getting access to 1 mask. To ask them to wear 2 masks may be a bit of a burden.
And that's your Consumer Alert. I'm Walt Kane.
Been experiencing causing damage to roads. The Department of Transportation is trying to stay ahead of those annoying potholes by repairing hundreds a day.
They can be so annoying, especially for your car. News 12's Janae Codwell caught up with the DOT and has more on how they're doing it.
The ice and snow of the season has been rough on roads throughout the city, creating thousands of potholes and causing car problems for drivers.
Last month, I was driving on Atlantic and I kind of swerved out of the way and I hit a pothole, had a flat, ruined like half my day.
Water moisture that gets under the pavement, it expands and contracts. And then the traffic drives over it, and what happens is it opens up. The salt doesn't help either.
The Department of Transportation is working to repair problem areas around the city caused by recent snowstorms, like these potholes on Dean Street in Crown Heights. DOT officials say this year alone, their crews have repaired more than 5,000 potholes in Brooklyn and more than 4,000 in the Bronx, with hundreds more to go.
7 crews. So if you add that up, we could get at least 300 potholes a day.
One by one, crews go to each pothole, lay asphalt, roll it, and seal it with asphalt cement. They say fixing these potholes is a part of their Vision Zero goal of making the streets safer to reduce traffic-related accidents. And if you have complaints about potholes in your area, DOT says the best way to make sure they get fixed is to call 311 so that crews like this one can come out and patch it up. In Crown Heights, Johnny Caldwell, News 12.
The teachers union hoping to raise $250,000 for food pantries in New York City. They are more than halfway there right now. And this Saturday, the UFT is hosting a whole virtual event with student performances, a cooking workshop, workout class, and so much more, all to get to that dollar amount goal to help families who really need it right now.
The school was a place where, kids would get a breakfast and a lunch. And now parents and grandparents, caregivers, they're being forced now to come up with ways and, again, make that dollar stretch a little bit further. So we've seen like an increase, and we've been watching, the data and the news reports and the growing lines in terms of the food pantries. Hate to imagine of a child, going without a meal. So our goal is, again, to do what we can, to help out.
That fundraiser is happening live right now, and that big event is on Saturday from noon to 4 p.m. So go to news12.com for more information on all of that.
This story just warms your heart. A couple married 58 years finally reunited today after not being able to be in the same room for almost a year.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Harriet and Jerry Shankman, even more happy and grateful to be together today than they were when they first met on a blind date at a Manhattan jazz club in their early 20s. For the last year, they couldn't share a loving embrace. They've been separated by a window and could only talk via Zoom.
It's been very difficult to not see him and to wonder, how he's really doing.
Jerry has memory issues and lives at the Bristol in White Plains. Visitors weren't allowed because of COVID.
I'm just very delighted that finally the visiting opened up and that I'm able to see him. And I realize that I have to take every opportunity because in this unprecedented time, you never know if the visiting is going to be prohibited.
It's hard to imagine how it feels not being allowed to see a loved one in person. We asked Harriet how she stayed strong during this lonely year.
It's the sense that it'll eventually be over, that it's not going to last forever.
That's the hope that everyone is holding on to, especially as New Yorkers continue to get vaccinated. Harriet is getting a COVID vaccine on Valentine's Day. For News 12, I'm Samantha Crawford.
School students taking their classwork to another level, creating interior design models for a tiny village of veterans to be built in Orange County.
And News 12's Beth Cephalou has that story.
These Suffern high schoolers can now add interior design to their school transcript, as they are the creative minds behind 7 design models for a tiny home village.
I just said, I want in on this. I want my students to have this real life experience where at a time where it's so difficult to engage in school, they can do something that's meaningful.
That's because the homes aren't for your average homeowner. It's for the Rumshock Victory Village, a tiny home community being developed for homeless veterans.
These veterans are just so important, and they have just gone through so much. I was extremely excited because not everyone on a daily basis has this opportunity to change a veteran's life.
Each home is 600 square feet, ADA compliant, includes smart technology, and is within a budget of $30,000.
We use the Ring doorbell, and basically the Ring doorbell is like a video camera on a doorbell. We have the Amazon Alexa Show 8, and that's just like changing temperature around the house. Like, again, like you don't have to get up.
And a good lesson on giving back.
It's just so mind-blowing that our designs are actually going to be put into the community, and that people will actually take into consideration that, hey, these high schoolers, they took the job of helping these veterans.
And for everyone watching at home, now it's your turn to get involved. Hudson Valley residents are being invited to view the presentations and vote for your favorite. We'll have the link for you to do just that on our website. In West Nyack, Beth Cephalou for News 12.
Some great ideas there. And by the way, those 3 designs will be selected by late March. As for the village, it will call 10 acres of Orange County home, but the Rumshock Veterans Foundation is still searching for a location.